Hi there, thank you for joining in this Microsoft Intune training series, and this is going to be the series number 13, meaning I have completed 12 more training series, and my intention to cover the complete Microsoft Intune training for free within my YouTube channel. That's why I created even YouTube playlist. In case if you're interested, please do check out the link within the description for other videos which are more focused on Microsoft Intune training. That being said, within this lecture, we're going to cover about application deployment within Microsoft Intune. And with respect to that, we would be focusing on Microsoft Store specific applications. If you could, recall in the previous lecture, we did in general talk about application deployment for integrating different type of stores and application deployments. But within this lecture, we're going to focus more on Microsoft Store for application, meaning you do have a store applications that needs to be deployed directly from Microsoft Store. In case if you're quite new to the Microsoft Store applications, yes, very similar to the Google Play Store, or maybe Apple App Store. Similarly, in a Microsoft do have Microsoft Store where you can buy the applications. Even you could install even a free applications also. So you could do application deployment directly from a Microsoft Store. So that's what we are going to cover within this lecture. So that being said, what is the major advantages by going for the Microsoft Store for Business integration is you could actually buy in a central place. That's not just for the Microsoft Store. In any store that we talk about, the app stores, you could actually buy with your Apple ID, or maybe with the Google ID, or with Microsoft Store ID, with your credit card, company credit card, or company payments, and you can buy those applications, and that applications can be assigned to a specific users or specific devices based on the license availability. So you could actually manage the applications centrally for the deployment as well as from the licensing point of view. That's a major advantage. So within this lecture, as we talked, we are going to cover about Microsoft Store for Business. So Store for Business is a different URL. So if you just go to Store for Business URL, that has all the applications, and those applications deployment, or you could actually within the Store for Business, you could actually integrate Microsoft Intune with your store, meaning whatever the applications later point you buy within that store will be directly visible in Microsoft Intune portal, and you could actually push them by assigning to a required group of users, or maybe to a specific group, right? So that can be done. So let's see the features that we talked about Microsoft Store for Business. You could actually buy the applications, and you could even buy the volume licensing applications with the store, and that can be synchronized and can be automatically will be available in available mode in your Intune, and then you could use them. Similarly, you could deploy the application directly from a store, and when you're deploying, there are two types. For example, I've taken an application within this demo called Fresh Paint, which is a painting application. So this application I'm making as a mandatory. So if you are coming from a SCCM background, you know what is a mandatory, meaning no matter whatever the device the user comes, or maybe that device, the application will be installed automatically without any user interaction. Whereas if you make it as available for installation, meaning the user have to visit the URL or maybe a company portal, and then you have to click on install the application, because it's available as the optional for the end user. So that's how you can deploy. So in two methods, one can be a mandatory, other one can be available. Of course, you also have an installation option. If you would like to use that, you could uninstall if at all the application is available, or you want to reassign the license, you could do that in the easiest way. And of course, we are going to view the entire experience from an end user point of view, as well as on a company admin, as an Intune admin, you would be using that experience. Of course, we are gonna use it for the first time, the company portal installation on an end user machine. I'm gonna show you that also. So that being said, let's jump into the Microsoft Intune portal to achieve all of this agenda. Let's open Endpoint Manager Admin Center console and go to Tenant Administration. And within this page, you have connectors and tokens. So if you just click on the connectors and tokens, you have different options. So this is where the Microsoft Store for Business will be available, and within this option, you should be able to enable this option. And also you could actually open the specific Open for Business store and then log in with your global admin account, and then you could do the configuration. So let's first click on that link to automatically take it to the business store link, which is Microsoft link, official link. This is the Play Store, or in a Google terms it's a Play Store, or in Apple terms it's the your App Store. So similarly here you have the Microsoft Store for Business. So this is where all the applications will be available, whoever develops the applications, and that applications can be placed here by uploading, and once they approved or uploaded, and you could purchase them. And also you could use even volume purchasing program also can be managed from here directly. So in my case, I logged in with the same account, and if you could notice that by 2023 it's going to replace this Store for Business, and you're going to get a new packaging model. That's what Microsoft hoping. And of course, at this point of time it just works as same as the old method. So let's go into the current model. If you are interested, you could read more about that notification which is coming there. In my case, I just closed it. So I could just go in the down, or I could manage. So here in the manage, you have the options for settings. So this is very important. Within the settings, you also have the distributors. You could use the distributors like private store people, and also in the management tools you have the options for Microsoft Intune. So this is where you could actually enable management tool as a Microsoft. So the applications that you're going to buy, once you activate it here, what are the applications you are going to buy will be available as an MDM solution once it syncs the Microsoft Store for Business. So I'm going to enable here now, and I could actually click on save, so that it's going to save it. And before that, I'm actually activating here so that the activation would happen. So let's activate that Microsoft Intune as my application, and also click on enrollment options. That's the two MDM options that you have from Microsoft Intune. Once you have activated that, now if you could see that, that's my global admin account, which is the same account I logged in. I'm saved it by enabling the options. So what would happen if I start syncing? Any of the applications that I purchased will start syncing up here. But unfortunately, there's a bug, like you cannot once you sync it also, it won't show you there as it's saved for the first time. So you just click on somewhere else, like it's showing as a not have done any kind of setup. So when I just move out and come back there, so it's just coming up as active. So that's good. In my case, that's how it worked, but in your case it might change. But at the end, you just have to take it as an enable button and sync it. Now let's go to further configuration to understand more. Let's say you are talking about the billing, payments, credit cards, all of that stuff can be done in the manage settings. And if you see some of the applications that are made by Microsoft, for example, in this case, I'm going to use the application called Fresh Paint. So I just say accept. So that's a free of cost. There's no charges for that application, so I'm going to use that application in this case. So I've purchased that application for free. There's no cost associated with that. And in case if there are paid applications, you could do the same thing, but it will ask you to enter the credit card details, and you're going to enter your company's details. Of course, that is again approval would needs to be taken. So this is where another application, like if I just search it, I have an application called Microsoft Remote Desktop, which is used to connect to the remote desktop. So I'm going to purchase this application also. So I purchased two applications. Let's say once I purchased, I want to manage my invoices, or I want to see my billing. All of that stuff will be available under manage. So manage is a very critical step. So this is very important to view from here all the options that are related to the payments. You could add your credit card details of companies and order history. Let's say I click on it twice on a fresh paint, that's why it was showing as a twice. Otherwise it's just the company. Even though I click on twice, it will be coming as only once, of course, in my Intune. So all I have to do is I have to just sync will take some time, as it says, and that's it. Now the application should be available under Windows application. You see here now the two applications coming up here, interestingly, as soon as seamless integration happen, and the type of the application is Microsoft Store for Business app. That's great, right? And if you look at, these applications are not assigned. So let me show you that. So it's not yet assigned. So what I'm going to do is I will be assigning these applications, one for mandatory, other one as the available mode. So let's click on fresh paint application in this case, and if I just go to the properties, all this information has been already pre-populated along with the logo of the application and the licensing information also. Now you have a assignment options here. Three different options are available. One would be the required, other one would be the available for enrolled devices, and also let's say if the application is already installed, you wanna do uninstallation, you could do that from here. So these are the options that you have. So let's edit this application assignment and configure based on either requirement or uninstall or available mode. It all depends on your requirement, and you could do based on an AD group or for all users or all devices. So I'm going to do for required as discussed. I have already created a group, AD group called applications to test this test scenario on Paint and RDB and other applications. I'm going to use this application, and within this AD group I have a user account called Chris is a member. So I'm going to show you end user experience with login as a Chris user account. Okay, so I'll just select that user as a required and click on save. That's it. That's what I have to do. So it's a seamless integration. Now I'm going to do that another application, which is Microsoft Remote Desktop. Go this application, and this time I'm going to make it as available for all the enrolled devices. So any user who can just log into company portal or to the portal, web portal, and he can request for installation. So there's no additional approval. So it's just made it as an available mode. So this is my Windows 10 PC. I could show you that who's logged in. If you just go to accounts and the school or the workplace environment, then you have a Chris account who's connected, who's logged in. I could do the quick sync also here. Once I done the quick sync, I should be able to see here an applications. But before that, actually I would like to show, anyway it's going to take some time, so in the meantime I would like to show you how can I install company portal. So company portal application be pushed directly from Microsoft Intune portal, or as an end user he can also install company portal application. So in my case I'm showing you as an end user point of view, so not as an admin. So I'll just open Microsoft Store application. This is the store which is available on any Windows 10 PCs or Windows 11 PC. You would be just logging here and then simply search for an application called company portal. This is the application which is available to interact with Microsoft Intune configuration as the end user. Let's say the device is not compliant, or once you search here, you're able to see as a company portal. So just click on that to get the application. So it might ask you to log in with Microsoft account. So you don't need to log in with Microsoft account because you have already logged in as the company enrolled account. So that's it. So it's going to download. It might take some time. So with this company portal application, you could see your list of devices, list of applications, and their status. So this is the interface which is available for end users in terms of configuring their devices or checking the status. All of that stuff can be done directly from company portal application. That's how it's going to work. So now it's got installed, and if you see here, it's not even asking for anything because we have already logged in as a Chris account. So seamlessly it's going to log in automatically. Once it's logged in, I should be able to see. Let me maximize the screen for you, and I should be able to see here my application. For example, here the application that we have just installed or pushed as the available application called Microsoft Remote Desktop Application, which is available more. So you could actually click on install so that it will prepare to download on your device. So it takes some time to come to your device. So when you click on it, devices, you'll see all the list of devices that are associated with this Chris user account. In this case, Chris has only one device, but let's say if he has more than one device, it will be available here. And since you pulled to install, it's going to do the deployment on all of those devices. You could also click on check access, which will check the compliance policy and check the policy so that this machine specific any of the new policies are available that gets downloaded to this machine and it gets deployed also. So that's how it's going to work, and we'll wait for a few more minutes to get these applications. So I'm going to pause and I'll come back to the same screen so that you could see that the applications will be automatically installed and it will be available on a start button in another few more minutes. So if you see here, download is pending, and later point after my pause and resume, I could see that 2 applications got installed, and I could see here the applications, everything here which is coming from my applications. It's showing as installed. So from a company portal application point of view, now here I have a fresh paint and RDP, and the same thing if I just go to my device within Microsoft Intune portal or Endpoint Manager Admin portal from the devices and select that specific device, and if you just go to managed applications, so this is where it's going to show you all the list of applications that you pushed from Intune. So in our case, we pushed 2 applications. One is required, other one as the available. Since we clicked as the first as the available, it has even status also sent back as installed, and other applications which is a fresh paint, it's still showing as a waiting for install. But that's not the really case, because we could see that on that device it's already installed, but the status is not it sent back to Intune server or Intune cloud. So that might take some time. So we'll wait for a few more minutes to get the proper information comes back. So that's how it's going to work. But if I just go to the specific one, I could see the status like application created and assigned time, and also attempted to install and installation completed. Let's say if there is a problem, it's going to show you an error also at this phase. All you have to do is just refresh, and it's going to retry for installation either way, and it's going to show you the proper status back to you. That's how it's going to work. And if you see here, it's still in fact it's just showing as a status is installation is completed, but the status was not reported as the updated. So meaning the pie charts, all of that also will not be showing you. So let's say if I go to the application, and it will come back later point if I just do the refresh of the browser, or maybe take some time, this status waiting for installation gets changed. And same thing if I just go to apps and all apps, and these applications are currently showing as no status. If you see, the device status is no, and for the 2 applications, see this, it is the same case, because it takes some time to update the status. And if I just go to even device installation status, it still shows as nothing has been installed. But that's not the really exact case, if I could wait for a few more minutes and come back and see the status, I should be able to see the exact status. So let me pause and come back here. I've given a couple of minutes to get the data to be automatically refreshed, and if I just click on fresh paint, now I'm able to see that one device is successfully installed, and that information also you could get it very clearly. Same thing goes for other application. So if you're looking for a report point of view, you could always go to monitoring, and here app installation status. This is going to show you the property status of number of devices failed or user failed or installed. All of that stuff will come up here. Unfortunately, the status is not yet fully reported back. The devices failure status is showing, but if you want to published successful status, you could actually go here and you can only get it from here. This is how you're gonna get the report. It's not a fancy report, I know, but you could actually integrate it with Power BI. I'm gonna make a Power BI specific video also in the upcoming lectures. Then you would be able to create your custom reports the way you want it, and that's how it's gonna work for the reports. And let's also have a look on the device that we were working. I think let's go to the device for Windows. And this is the device 616 which we are working so far. And let's go to the managed apps, and you could see that the two applications are showing as the installed. One is the available and required mode. And finally, if I just go to Microsoft Store for Business, before I wind up, you should be able to see the applications list under apps and the subscriptions. I should be able to see the applications that we pushed. We could see here there are two applications that we pushed has been installed on one device, or one user was used it, and this is where you can get the information, and also any kind of Office 365 kind of subscriptions. If you bought it directly, if your company is very small, then that will also be showing up here. Line of business application, all of that stuff will be visible here. And also the most important point would be the Store for Business also will give you the flexibility for autopilot deployment, also can be achieved directly from here if you just go to the devices. And we would be talking on these topics in the upcoming lectures, but the agenda for this lecture would be more focused on how to integrate Store for Business and deploy some applications. So that being said, that's how you could achieve these application deployment with Store for Business. That being said, we could conclude here the more topics that we have learned within this lecture, more about the Microsoft Store for Business integration, as well as the application purchase and licensing and deploying the applications with mandatory and available mode. I hope this entire lecture is useful for you. Thank you for watching this. If you really like it, please do subscribe and comment. If you have encountered any kind of doubts or maybe troubleshooting needed, or you need some kind of help, please post in the comment section. I'm happy to help you out as I get the time.